It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and other comics from all over. We ended up in Japan because Mr. Sulu on Star Trek is our 7th favorite character. The Talk Funny podcast from Nagoyaradio.com and Nagoyacomedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
Here's Mark Bailey.
Welcome to another edition of Talk Funny, brought to you by Nagoyacomedy.com and Nagoyaradio.com. I'm Mark Bailey, and we're here again with our guest, Chris.
Hello.
Chris, if just a quick reintroduction of who you are and how long you've been in Japan.
I've been in Japan 4 years. I'm an engineer on some aircraft in Nagoya. I think everyone should know what that is. And what brought me to Japan was just a change. You know, my wife is Japanese. I have 2 half children, and just a lot safer in Japan than Los Angeles.
Oh, really? Yeah. And you're originally from Los Angeles?
I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
Okay, right.
But I moved to Los Angeles because that's where my industry is, mostly on the West Coast.
So we were talking off mic before about we both have Japanese wives, and you know you're gone for a long time, I'm gone for a long time, and it seems to me that Japanese wives don't seem to really know, even if they work, they don't really seem to know where money comes from. And I've noticed this in a movie, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
You know what bothered me about that movie is that it was not clear what the guy did. What was his job? Why was he so rich?
Yeah.
But they never got into that. It's just, he goes into an office and he comes out with money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was bothering me the whole time. I'm like, what does this guy sell body parts? I mean, why is he so rich? But for women, that's enough. He goes to work.
Yeah, that's it.
He goes to work. And I'm like, suspension of disbelief for a guy. A guy is like, there's no way this guy could be like 30 and be the boss. There's no way.
I could leave the house and be a gigolo, and she'd never know. As long as the paycheck was getting deposited, happy wife.
There's a story that happened to me when I was originally I had a pretty good job at a university, and I gave it up to do radio. It was once in a lifetime opportunity over here, and I ended up working at the radio station for the whole time that they were open, but they were only open for 10 years. But it was I was making 8 times what I would make at the university. Yeah. And so my wife is always, Japanese wives often say, well, you know, a teacher is a good job, you know, blah, 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 it's respected. Yeah. Listen, I teach at university. I'm not respected by the kids. I'm not respected by the office, and I'm not respected by my peers. So I don't know where this respect comes from. It's just in your mind. Yeah. And Lady La La Land, I knew she'd be upset if she knew I quit this job to take radio, because she's always said, you know, you don't know how long they're going to have you. They might have you for 6 months, and then you're out on the street. Yeah. I quit the university job, and my radio job was only, it was 7 to 11 in the morning. And so after 11 a.m., I'm free for the whole day. But I'm making 7 times, 8 times what I would make before. But I can't go home. I can't go home because she'd be like, what happened to the university job? Why are you? Yeah. I used to come home at 6. So I would just hang out at City Hall or hang out at Sakai or Parco. I'd sit in the corridors, you know, listening to they didn't have podcasts in those times, but I'd listen to my own bits. I'd write comedy bits. And I was basically homeless until 6 p.m. And I'd go home. I'd change into my suit, go home at 6 p.m. It's like, how was work? Oh, it was great. Yeah. Why are you getting up so early now? Well, you don't have to be at the university earlier now.
Yeah.
I mean, because I
got stuff to do, yeah.
And so I did that, and all the other DJs were laughing at me. It's like, you know, you get on the air and you're this arrogant, funny guy, but you're afraid to tell your wife that you quit the university job. And I showed Mike Miller one time. I said, this is where I used to hang out. And I used to hang out here for it was the, Tokyo Hands in the middle. They have they have some benches with leather on them, and they're very comfortable. And you can sit in the stairwell, and nobody will bother you.
This is my stoop.
For 6 hours. And so I would write new bits. I would write parodies of songs. I was just all over the place. And then I guess this went on for 4 years. And finally, I told my wife, I said, you know, actually, the radio thing worked out. So actually, I haven't been at that place in years at the university. And she didn't care. And she never noticed because the money's coming in.
The money's coming in, yeah. Most American, I think, wives, or Western wives, I can't say American specifically, would probably be very upset at that. But yeah. Japanese women, the paycheck's there, the lights are on, it's okay.
It's what I think I've mentioned to you before off mic. It's like when the flat screen TVs first came out, they were really expensive, 100,000 yen, 150,000 yen, something like that. And we got one, and then she was mad at the kids, so she threw a remote control, busted it. Oh. It was 1 day old. And I came home, and she goes, I'm just going to go get another one. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The invisible elves and the magic unicorns, you're going to give them a heart attack. They can't work this fast. Yeah. You know, it took me, this is before the radio job, but that's going to take, that's 6 months of savings for me for what you just did. Yeah. And you're going to buy another one. So she didn't, she's just like, well, we just need more money. Okay, I'll just turn the faucet up on the money machine.
Yeah.
You leave your house and you come home and the check just magically appears. And like I said before, my wife works with her family and she works for like 5 hours and I think she makes $1.60 a month or something. It's just, it's really negligible. It really didn't help with the house loan at all. And she'll be like, well, why are you always gone on Sundays? I'm like, well, remember when I said that I run a wedding company? Well, when do you think weddings are? They're on Sundays. I have to be out and about doing that and my staff and stuff. That's what this office was originally for, is just interviewing the ministers and training them. And, I'll get up at 4 a.m. and it's just like, why are you getting up so early? Oh, because I love getting up at 4 a.m. What do you think? Because I have to catch a 6 a.m. train, Yep. So I think it's just not appreciated by Japanese wives.
No, like you said, like even if they do work and if it's part-time, the money they're making is enough to pay groceries maybe for 1 week.
Right.
For a normal-sized family. It's contributing, but it's not really helping any.
And this is unpopular to say, but it's actually a fact. If you really want to know, if you really want to research the quote-unquote pay gap that they talk about, there's a British guy who wanted his daughters to earn as much as men earn. So he researched it, and he found that women work when they want to work, and they don't stay late. Yeah. On the average. Well, my wife. Okay, I'm talking on the average. Compared to guys, they leave earlier. They work less weekends. They take less volunteer training courses, which get you promoted. When you can't help it, you have maternity leave and everything. Well, who do you think is running the office when you're on maternity leave? Yeah. It's guys. There's some guy, this magic elf is doing all the work,
Yeah, magically.
And so my wife, I think a lot of Japanese women just think, well, women aren't paid well, and that's why you go out and you're going to get paid 10 times what a woman gets. No, it's actually, I'm actually working harder, and I'm working longer. We get in the university field, we work per hour, and it's a good deal because you get paid vacation time. But if you have 2 classes a week, you're going to starve because you're getting paid for 2 classes a week. That is not enough. And I know some guys are doing 8 classes a week, and I don't even know how they survive if they're married because the wife isn't working, and that's not a lot of money. Oh. So when you're working, like if you work 20 hours, not 20 hours, but 20 classes, and that is a lot because you're teaching, you're on the train, you're commuting. It's really basically 6 to 7.5 straight teaching hours. No lunch, just skipping lunch, riding the train. I come home and I'll say, I'm tired. And then here we go. My wife, oh, you think you're tired? Yeah. Like you said, I've been doing laundry all day.
I'm doing laundry all day. I clean the house. Well, you clean every day. The house isn't that big,
Yeah, I mentioned to you before I have a dust allergy, and I'm not allowed to mention that at the house. And she's like, well, I clean. Well, my nose says that you don't. So I'm not making it up. You think I want to have this allergy? Yeah. And she's like, well, I dusted, blah, blah. And she's like, it took me all day to do the laundry. And I'm like, well, you're not doing it right then.
Yeah.
Because, I'll buy you a dryer.
Yeah. Or do you want a bigger washing machine? I'll buy an 8 kilogram, capacity washing machine if you need it.
Do you work for the Navy? How much laundry are you doing? Because when I was a bachelor, I think it took me about 20 minutes to do laundry.
Once a week?
Yeah, once a week. And I didn't even hang them out. I just left them in my room, They dry themselves. You don't have to sit there and actually dry it. Did you know that nature will actually dry it for you?
Yeah, we don't need a wringer. Yeah.
And we've had arguments with my wife, and she'll say, there's not enough money coming in. And I'm like, well, either I'll clone myself or you get a real job. Yeah. And she's like, well, I don't know how to get a full-time job. I said, that's my business, is I get full-time jobs for other people. I can easily get one for you. And she's like, well, who's going to do the cleaning? Oh, 4 minutes a day? I can get a Filipino girl to do that, maybe more. So maybe she'll do more for me.
In a month.
She'll do a little bit more for a monthly fee. If you hire a cleaning lady, I have done it before. If you hire a cleaning lady, she doesn't like to waste time. So she'll come in. I had a cleaning lady. This place is a mess. She came in. She cleaned the place. I guess she was here 8 minutes. Did a fantastic job. And, because she's got to go to the next place. She gets paid per place.
Yeah, she's hustling.
And it's like, so my wife doesn't really appreciate work, and she'll just say something like, well, you enjoy working. No, I enjoy 3 meals a day and a roof over my head. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah. And my personal experience, I'm usually in the office at 7, and I leave anywhere between 5 and 7 at night. And so I would leave early before they're awake, but still wake my kids up for school because she can't do it, to get them out of bed, all 3 of them out of bed. Then I'd go to work. I'd come home from work, and it'd be late after working overtime. And then she says, well, I got to cook dinner, take the kids. So I'm like, okay, I understand. You've had the kids since 4 o'clock. They got off the bus. And I want to see my kids. But what else have you done between 8 o'clock when they got on the bus until 4 o'clock? What did you do all day? Because you could have cooked dinner, prepped it, and then we could have reheated it. That's smart thinking and planning in my mind, I guess.
It's kind of rock star thinking, because during the summer and winter we do have a couple of months off. It's very nice. You can travel, but it changes the way you think, right? Because if you're off for a couple of weeks or 3 or 4 weeks in a row, you wake up and it's like, I got to mail that letter. That's all you do. I got to do that, I guess.
Like, what am I doing today? It's Tuesday. I'm off at work. I'm going to go to the post office.
I got to go to the International Center and ask a question. I guess I'll eat lunch first, and then I'll catch a train. I'll get to about 4.
Yeah.
And then, I go home and I did that thing that I have to do. But when you're working, when you're getting up early, and I'm working like 12, 16-hour work days, I have a list of stuff. Next time I'm at my house, don't forget to bring a different bag. I have a different bag every day, depending on where I'm going and stuff. You actually really get good at time management. But I think that, if you're a housewife, you're sitting at home, it's like, okay, I got to do the laundry and I've got to prepare dinner. So I'll do the laundry between 10 and 2 p.m. and then I'll prepare dinner I'll take a break, of course, and then I'll prepare dinner between 4 and 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Well, if you were busy, you would prepare dinner. It would take you 20 minutes to do that and 10 minutes to do the laundry, so.
Yeah, the one good thing is they do right is they'll make, 6 cups of rice and then organize it and package it and throw it in the freezer. So then, if you want to make a quick instant curry or something, boom, you throw it in the microwave, done. But why can't you meal prep that way?
I guess we shouldn't end without saying something good about Japanese wives. I really like the way most of them make the bentos. They're very cute.
Yes.
They're filling. They're convenient, and you can pretty much eat them cold. Even if you eat them cold, they're fine. You'll be fine. They don't spoil. It's usually some fried chicken, or it always has rice and it has
some hot dog or something. Yeah.
But I mean, and you have a little macaroni salad or something, but it's all very cute. It's very compact, and that is really something when you're working full time. Believe it or not, you actually kind of look forward to that for lunch. It's like I've got something to look forward to.
Unfortunately, she used to do that only in America. But then we had kids, and then so when it was kids' bento day, I got a bento. So a few times a month, I was happy. But they do that well. They get up early and take care of everything for the kids, and then you're lucky enough to have a leftover, you'll have a bento, at least in my case.
Then I noticed, that's a good point, I noticed after the kids didn't need bentos anymore. In Japan, a bento is a boxed lunch. That's we just call them bentos. And after the kids no longer needed it, I realized she would get up earlier, but it was kind of passive-aggressive, because I didn't have to get up until like 8 or something. She'd get up at 5:30, and there's the way that you turn on the water when you put the water in the rice. It's like, kung, kung. You can hear this. It reverberates through the whole house. And say, 5:30 in the morning, kung, kung. It sounds like a gear for like a Kubota tractor. Kung, 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 kung. And I'm like, okay, this is her way of telling me, I'm getting up at 5:30 a.m. to make your stupid bento.
Yeah.
So I thought,
be thankful.
You know what? I'll just go to the convenience store, not be woken up at 5:30 in the morning, eat a less delicious bento, but at least I get to sleep till 7:30 or 8 instead of being woken up at 5:30. I'll come down and she'll be like, "Why are you getting up so early?" Because the gung gung gung, it's really loud. The plumbing. Okay, so I think we're going to end this one, and Chris will be back with us for the next episode. This is Talk Funny. You can reach us, askportjapan@yahoo.com with comments, and we'll see you next week.